Taiwan is much more than just an island in the Western Pacific. While its territorial size may be limited, its influence on the global geopolitical stage is enormous. Situated in one of the most tense regions in the world, Taiwan is a true epicenter of disputes involving economics, technology, and international security. Behind its mountainous landscapes and modern cities lies a rich history and a strategic role that place the island at the very heart of the 21st century geopolitical chessboard. Unlike many other islands that might seem isolated or of limited relevance, Taiwan stands out for its dynamic economy and strategic position. It is home to TSMC, the world's largest semiconductor manufacturer, a key player in the functioning of nearly all modern technology. Additionally, its location makes it vital to Pacific maritime routes and a crucial point in containing potential Chinese advances in the region. Taiwan's importance isn't just economic or technological, it's also deeply political. Taiwan represents a vibrant democratic model in East Asia, directly contrasting with China's authoritarian regime. This ideological divide makes the island a symbol of resistance for many and a constant point of tension between Beijing and the West, particularly the United States. Understanding Taiwan's role on the global stage is essential to grasp the tensions that define the 21st century. Taiwan is an island located in the Western Pacific, with a position that places it as a strategic piece in Asia's geopolitical landscape. Its natural borders, bounded by the East China Sea to the north, the Philippine Sea to the east, and the South China Sea to the south, place the island in the heart of one of the busiest regions in the world. Taiwan lies approximately 180 kilometers from China's coast, a proximity that has historically shaped complex and often tense relations with the mainland. Due to its location, Taiwan plays a central role in the strategic concept known as the First Island Chain. This chain includes a series of island territories stretching from Japan to Southeast Asia, serving as a natural barrier to China's maritime expansion. For the United States and its allies, Taiwan is an essential piece of this chain, crucial for maintaining the balance of power in the region and protecting vital trade routes that pass through its waters. Taiwan has the potential to act as a strategic choke point for Chinese maritime routes, through which most of China's imports and exports flow. This ability to influence China's trade flow makes Taiwan a valuable asset for Western allies, especially the United States. This gateway to the Pacific position makes Taiwan not only a defensive advantage but also a powerful tool for exerting pressure during global tensions. With China heavily reliant on its maritime routes for trade and energy imports, controlling or blocking these passages could have a significant impact on the Chinese economy. For the United States, supporting Taiwan means safeguarding its presence in the Pacific and ensuring freedom of navigation in a region vital to global commerce. However, this strategic position also makes Taiwan a constant target of claims and pressure. For China, the island is historically a part of the mainland and essential for its maritime security and power projection in the Pacific. At the same time, for Western countries, Taiwan represents a defensive line against potential Chinese advances, making the island a persistent hotspot in the rivalry between the world's major powers. In addition to its military and geographic importance, Taiwan also boasts unique natural characteristics. Its mountainous terrain and surrounding deep waters provide significant defensive advantages in the event of a conflict. However, China's claim over Taiwan has deep historical and cultural roots. Originally inhabited by Austronesian indigenous peoples, the island began to attract the attention of foreign powers in the 17th century, when Dutch colonists established a trading port. Later, the Kingdom of Tungning, led by Ming Dynasty refugees, used Taiwan as a base to resist the Qing dynasty, which ultimately annexed the island in 1683. This marked the beginning of over 2 centuries of Chinese rule. In 1895, Taiwan was ceded to Japan following China's defeat in the First Sino-Japanese War. During Japanese rule, the island underwent significant modernization, with improvements in infrastructure, agriculture, and industry. However, this occupation also brought cultural and social repression, creating internal divisions that persist to this day. Japan's defeat in World War II returned Taiwan to Chinese control in 1945, but this transition would be brief and turbulent. The Chinese Civil War, which led to the rise of the Communist Party and the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949, was a turning point. The Republic of China government, led by the Nationalist Party, Kuomintang, fled to Taiwan after its defeat on the mainland. Since then, the island has become the stronghold of the nationalist government, maintaining its own administration and political system, while the People's Republic of China consolidated control over the rest of the country. These historical events laid the foundation for today's sovereignty dispute. For mainland China, Taiwan is a renegade province that must be reunified with the country. For many Taiwanese people, however, the island represents a territory with its own distinct political and cultural identity. For the People's Republic of China, Taiwan is an inseparable part of its territory, a rebellious province that must be reunified, whether through peaceful means or, if necessary, by force. Since 1949, when the Kuomintang government fled to Taiwan, Beijing has made reunification a strategic and ideological priority, essential to completing what it sees as the national rejuvenation process. For Taiwan, however, the reality is different. The island operates as a de facto independent state, with its own government, thriving democracy, and flourishing economy. Although it has not formally declared independence, most of Taiwan's population rejects the idea of becoming part of mainland China, particularly due to the fundamental differences between their political systems. While Taiwan maintains a vibrant democracy, China operates under an authoritarian regime led by the Communist Party, highlighting the stark contrast between the two sides. This clash of visions is also a major point of contention between China and the West. The United States, while adhering to a One China policy, supports Taiwan through arms sales, military cooperation, and diplomatic rhetoric that reinforces the island's right to self-determination. Beijing views this support as interference in its internal affairs and a threat to its sovereignty, further escalating tensions in the region. With China's growing global ambitions, Taiwan has become a symbol of resistance to Chinese hegemony in Asia. Beijing has ramped up its actions, including military flyovers near the island and diplomatic efforts to isolate Taiwan on the international stage. Taiwan's global importance is further amplified by its role as a cornerstone of the semiconductor industry, as highlighted in another documentary on this channel. The island is the world leader in producing these essential components, which power nearly all modern technology, from smartphones to cars and supercomputers. At the heart of this industry is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, the largest semiconductor manufacturer in the world, responsible for over 90% of the global production of ultra-advanced chips. The world's dependence on TSMC cannot be overstated. Companies like Apple, Nvidia, and Qualcomm rely on Taiwanese expertise to develop cutting-edge products. Moreover, Taiwan dominates the production of advanced chips, an area in which few countries have the technological capacity to compete. This gives the island a disproportionate influence relative to its size, making it indispensable to the global economy. This economic dominance also transforms Taiwan into a strategic asset. Control over semiconductor production is not just an economic advantage but a geopolitical lever. The technological competition between the United States and China places Taiwan at the center of this rivalry, with both sides striving to secure access to this critical technology. For Washington, Protecting Taiwan means safeguarding the supply of advanced semiconductors and maintaining a technological edge over Beijing. However, Taiwan's economic importance extends beyond semiconductors. The island is a diversified commercial and industrial hub with robust exports and modern infrastructure. This success has been made possible by Taiwan's political environment, which is marked by freedom and a vibrant democracy. Over the past few decades, the island has solidified itself as a direct contrast to China's authoritarian regime. With free elections and a multi-party system, Taiwan has become a model of democratic governance in Asia, where freedoms of expression, press, and association are widely upheld. This political landscape reflects a growing national identity that has progressively distanced itself from its Chinese roots, embracing a vision of Taiwan as an autonomous and independent state. Taiwanese national identity has strengthened over time. Recent surveys indicate that the majority of the population identifies as Taiwanese rather than Chinese, especially among younger generations. This shift results not only from cultural differences but also from the island's unique political and social experiences. Taiwanese people deeply value their democracy, civil liberties, and de facto sovereignty, creating an ever-widening cultural and ideological gap with mainland China. Within Taiwan's political system, however, there are divisions on how to manage relations with Beijing. Parties like the Kuomintang advocate for cautious engagement, aiming to maintain economic ties and avoid escalating tensions into conflict. In contrast, the Democratic Progressive Party, currently in power, takes a more assertive stance in defending Taiwan's sovereignty, resisting Beijing's pressures, and promoting Taiwanese identity on the international stage. This internal polarization reflects the complexity of the situation and the uncertainties surrounding the island's future. The combination of a strong democracy and an evolving national identity makes Taiwan a unique example in Asia. While its internal politics reinforce its status as an autonomous state, they also heighten tensions with Beijing, which views these changes as a direct challenge to its narrative of reunification. Taiwan has become one of the main flashpoints in the geopolitical rivalry between the world's two largest powers, the United States and China. As previously mentioned, for Beijing, the island is an integral part of its territory that must be reunified. Meanwhile, Washington sees Taiwan as an essential piece for containing Chinese expansion in the Pacific. This standoff has turned Taiwan into both a symbol of resistance and a critical strategic battleground in the global geopolitical landscape. Taiwan's location is pivotal to U.S. military strategy. The chain of islands that includes Japan, the Philippines, and other Pacific nations serves as a natural barrier to China's naval power projection. As we've discussed in depth in another piece of content, this makes it even more important for you to subscribe to the channel to stay informed. Taiwan is vital for maintaining the balance of power in Asia and protecting trade routes that generate trillions of dollars annually. For the U.S., losing Taiwan would mean opening the door to Chinese military expansion and weakening its position in the Indo-Pacific. From China's perspective, Taiwan is a matter of sovereignty and security. Beijing considers reunification a strategic and ideological priority, integral to the national rejuvenation promoted by Xi Jinping. Control over Taiwan would secure China's maritime domains, which are currently threatened by U.S. forces in the Taiwan Strait, and military support for Taipei, moves Beijing views as direct provocations. The possibility of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan remains one of the greatest concerns in global geopolitics. While Beijing has emphasized its preference for peaceful reunification, the use of force has never been ruled out, especially in response to moves it perceives as steps toward Taiwan's formal independence. A military attack on the island would have profound global implications. Taiwan is a cornerstone of the world economy due to its leadership in semiconductor production. Any disruption in the supply of these components could cripple production chains worldwide, affecting crucial industries such as automotive, electronics, and defense. Moreover, an invasion could trigger a military response from the United States and its allies, risking escalation into a large-scale conflict that would drastically reshape security in the Indo-Pacific region. The example of Hong Kong serves as a stark warning for Taiwan. Beijing's tightening control over the former British colony has shown that the promises of one country, two systems hold little weight when faced with the strategic interests of the Chinese Communist Party. For Taiwan, this episode underscores the necessity of defending its sovereignty and autonomy, even in the face of increasing military threats from Beijing. Taiwan is much more than an island in the Pacific. It is a microcosm of the geopolitical struggles of the 21st century. Its strategic position, economic leadership, and political uniqueness make it a central piece in the tensions between the world's greatest powers. Representing a clash between democracy and authoritarianism, sovereignty and control, Taiwan stands as one of the most significant symbols of global battles for influence, technology, and power. The future of Taiwan will have far-reaching implications for the global order. If the island maintains its autonomy, it will continue to serve as a bulwark against China's ambitions in the region. On the other hand, a forced reunification could shift the balance of power in the Pacific and herald a new era of direct confrontations between major powers. Whatever the outcome, Taiwan's importance transcends its borders, influencing economic, technological, and security issues on a global scale. Understanding Taiwan is essential to grasping the trajectory of the 21st century. The struggle over the island is not just a regional conflict, it reflects broader transformations in the international landscape. Taiwan is, and will remain, one of the epicenters of decisions that will shape the future of global geopolitics and the world economy.